Hi, my name's Melva Sullivent, and this is my husband, James Sullivent. And in 2011, we lost our two youngest daughters in an automobile accident. Bridget was 11 years old and Leslie was 17. And it's almost 7 years later, and we're still here together, and we would like to share with you some things that have helped us in our grief journey.
You know, one of the things when it first happened, probably the first 2 or 3 years, you know, I was bottled up inside. You know, I didn't really want to talk to me. I mean, we did share, you know, nightly or daily, and we talked to each other and stuff, but I didn't want to open up, you know. I didn't want to open up my true hurt and feelings on the inside, you know. Then I started realizing how, as a couple, me and my wife, you know, I felt, you know, that, you know, I was holding back from her, and after I started talking with my wife, I was able to understand what I was going through and how it would help me to get from here to there.
And I was a little different. I was very open with my grief. I needed to cry. I needed to talk. I journaled, so I would write every night, and it was hard for him to see me go through that. And sometimes when I would cry or be sad or upset, I think it was just more that he couldn't deal with because he was dealing with the loss of the girls as well as seeing me suffer the loss. And so he was very private and very closed, and I had a hard time understanding how he could just ignore, or at least that's what I thought he was doing, what had just happened. But he did not want to talk about it. He did not want to share. He would not cry around me. And so it kind of became a little complicated. And it took us a little bit to figure out that we were both grieving and we were both processing the loss, but we were just doing it very differently. And so I had to allow him to be able to grieve in his own way, and at the same time he was able to understand that I was going through my grieving process in a very open and different way that I needed to do for me.
One thing I found out, you know, you could imagine the hurt and feeling that, you know, we was going through, and so I think what was very important that I did open up. I started accepting, talking with my wife and listening to what she was saying. Once I realized that, hey, I know I needed to be a man, I needed to be strong for her, but I also found out that I had my own grief, right? And not talking with her and opening up myself was bottling that up inside me, and it was just eating away at me till I figured that we started talking about it. We started telling each one how we felt and what we were feeling at that moment, because, you know, the moment of the grief, it comes in waves and stuff.
And I was able to finally realize that he was grieving in his own way, and I could pick up on little cues. So even though he may not openly be talking to me about it, or I may not see him crying, I began to notice moments when he would be a little distant, or when he would be have to walk away from a situation. And so I realized that was him processing his grief. And so those were the times I was able to just reach out with an extra pat on the shoulder or just an extra hug, you know, just to say I love you, and to know that you know, we both suffered this loss together, and we just needed to really support each other through it in whatever way that was going to happen.